So let me start my screen share. So any questions from like the previous session?
No, sir.
No questions. No. Okay. Yeah. So let's get started. So we got an overview of when to use like RESTful services and when to use like Kafka, in which cases like it is actually helpful, right? So we'll get back to this slide. Like last time we actually saw this slide, but let's get back to this slide at a later point of time. Like once we get an overview of what Kafka is internally. So till now, like we saw like Kafka can be an alternative for HTTP for communication between multiple services, but we didn't actually go through any of these internals, like what Kafka is, how does it actually behaves, and what advantages it brings in. Like, okay, so maybe like once we see that, like this slide, it makes more sense. Okay. Uh, yeah. So coming back to the thing, like so, I'll actually draw a small diagram, like what Kafka actually looks like. Okay. So usually like in Kafka, so in one of our previous examples, we saw that we have like consumers and we have like one system, like so it is nothing but like uh, warehouse management system. Okay. And these are like multiple smaller services, finance service, and each of these services, right? So we decided like so instead of this warehouse servicing making HTTP calls to each of these service, so it actually sends like it there will be like Kafka which is actually present in the middle in the warehouse service management. So it actually sends record to this particular Kafka, and then Kafka will take care of sending this message back on to other services. This is Kafka. So and Kafka takes care of sending this message back to each of these systems. Okay. So when I say that, so that I'm actually saying like it is going to send this message to different services, but in the real world, like it is not actually something like that. So Kafka doesn't actually push the message back to any of these services. So these services they need to read messages from the Kafka. Okay, so this is where like Kafka comes into picture, right? So there are like few terminologies like which I'll go through. So this is the one like which actually produces the message, right? So inserting a message into Kafka. So this is actually called as producer. Okay. So these items, so they are called consumers. So they are called consumers. Okay. And this is the Kafka server. And this is Kafka server. Like so, so this is the producer, and these are consumers, and this is Kafka server. And in general, in technical terms, like in Kafka technical terms, like a Kafka server can also be called as like broker. Is also called as a broker. Okay. So these are some of those technical terms which are actually involved with Kafka. So whenever you hear about like producer, so you can assume like so it is the source which is actually sending messages, and whenever like you hear the term like consumer, so it is nothing but like the destination, like so where the message is supposed to be or intended to be sent. Okay. And when we hear like the word like Kafka server or broker, it is nothing but like the actual Kafka software like instance which is actually running on a server, one particular server. Okay. So we also thought like so when using like HTTP services, like the disadvantage is like we need to make multiple calls. We have to have the code like which sends like which makes API calls to each of these consumers, and then so Kafka actually like it can actually replace that, so that like the warehouse will send it to the Kafka server, and all the receiving parties like they receive this message, right? So what if it is a Kafka server, like what if the server breaks down? Okay, so what if this instance, it is actually shut down. Okay, so then the entire communication between these two, these consumers and then this producer, like it will break down, right? So do you agree with me or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this way, like it is actually going to break down, right? So Kafka is actually smart enough, like so to avoid such kind of scenarios, like we have something called as like replication and then multi-broker support. Like so, if Kafka server is nothing, not just a single instance of Kafka running. So together, like we can have like multiple Kafka servers. So this can be like another Kafka. So this is another Kafka server, and so this can be like again like another Kafka server. So I assume like in our production environment, like in Base Verify as well as like MMS, like I believe like we are using only single instance of Kafka server. Okay, so this is like Kafka cluster, like all together these all these combined, so they're called as like Kafka cluster. Okay, so this is nothing but like a Kafka cluster. So So this is a Kafka cluster. Okay. So even though like let's say like we have like three instances with on which like we have Kafka running, okay, Kafka server running. So each instance can be called as like one broker, like Kafka broker, and we can have like a replication. So let's say like this producer, it is actually sending messages to this instance, okay, only this particular instance continuously. All of a sudden, like what if this particular instance dies? So we'll lose all those messages and also the communication between this warehouse and then all these consumers, so it will be lost, right? So in order to avoid that, like Kafka provides the ability of replication. So this is one cluster, right? So we can actually configure like the replication servers. So each of these brokers, like when we specify the replication, so what it does is like, so internally Kafka takes care of copying. So let's say like I sent 100 messages to this particular Kafka. So immediately like when it sends a message to this Kafka broker, like producer, so the same message will be replicated onto different servers. Okay, based on the replication count we provide. This is almost like in sync with some of these technologies like Elasticsearch and all the stuff. Okay, so this is how like the Kafka replication works. So let's say like if this particular broker it goes down, okay. So this actually went down. So what happens is, so Zookeeper, we have Zookeeper installed, right? So if you remove, so there is something called as Zookeeper. Maybe we didn't actually go through that. So Zookeeper is Zookeeper is nothing but like it is again a Apache software, like which actually, so it doesn't actually work closely with Kafka, but it is just like an own product on it's an own product, Kafka product. I mean Apache product. Kafka makes use of this Zookeeper product for maintaining the synchronization, like so which particular so previously let's assume that this is the leader, okay, and these are all like child nodes. So what happens is like, so Zookeeper actually takes care of like which particular brokers are alive and then what type, so all the replication and all that and stuff like Zookeeper takes care of. So let's say like if this particular Kafka server it dies, okay, so then Zookeeper will actually get to know, so it will poll the Kafka instances and Zookeeper gets to know, okay, so this particular server it went down, so I need to elect a new node as master. So then it actually elects this particular node as a master. Okay. So this will be our new master. And do we lose all this data that is actually present in the main broker if this goes now?
No, I think the messages will be pushed, but consumers cannot accept the messages.
Consumers cannot actually accept the messages. So that is your opinion, right? Then? So in
Yeah.
other so what do you think? So do you
I
think
think
like
the
hmm?
consumers can access the messages from other broker.
So from the other broker? Exactly. So the consumers will actually access the data from other brokers. So even though this consumer it went down, so previously this is the master node. So even though this particular consumer it went down, okay, so we have like replication enabled, right? So when we have the replication enabled, so whenever like you have a message that we receive into this particular node, so automatically the message will be replicated on other instances. Okay. So we'll have
Okay.
a copy of the data even in these brokers. Okay. So that is again configuration based. So though you have like three different brokers, and if you specify like when creating a topic, if you specify like replication as one, so then it will have like only the replication will be done only in one server. So what if even this server dies? So and if the replication is one, so obviously like we'll lose the data, right?
So it's
So
based on the replication number and not the existence of brokers.
yeah, so it's not based on the brokers. So even though like you have 100 brokers and you have like replication factor as one, so the content will be actually replicated onto one server. So if the main server and that replication server, if they go down, so we'll lose all the data.
Okay.
So ideally, like it is a better practice to have like three or three servers, at least like for replication. Yeah.
But what if the complete cluster is down?
So what if the complete cluster is down? So ideally, like, uh, so if the complete cluster is down, obviously, like we'll lose the communication between this producer and then consumers. Okay. So, but in order to avoid that complete cluster down, what we are actually doing is so we have like multiple servers. So it is ideally not possible to have all these instances at a time going down, right?
Yeah. But day before yesterday, there was downtime in Wage Verify. Uh,
Yeah. So that is
so
because
the
we have only
complete,
one instance, one broker.
yeah. But after once the service is up and running, so all the messages are consumed by the consumers.
So all the messages are actually consumed by the consumer, but if the producer is actually trying to produce messages at the same time, okay, so those messages they'll not reach Kafka and you lose that information. Okay. This is clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. So you got an idea on what this producer is and what these consumers are and what is actually a broker. A broker is nothing but like it is a Kafka server, okay, in a cluster, Kafka cluster. Okay, so and also we saw about like replication. So what is actually the replication? So how the messages actually gets replicated onto multiple servers. Like so if we have like the replication turned on. Okay. Um, so this way, like we can actually make sure like the Kafka cluster. So by having like multiple brokers and then multiple replication factors, so we can actually make sure that I mean, Kafka cluster is up and running for almost all the time. Like, okay, so there is a little possibility of the entire cluster going down. So if there are like three servers, so all the three servers going down at the same time, so it is highly like once in a while like it actually occurs. So if we have a single broker, like there is a good chance of the single server going down, right? uh, okay, so
Yes.
these are some of those terminologies. So let's actually go through these things. So yeah, the same thing I actually mentioned, like so we have like this is actually the entire Kafka cluster, and these are nothing but like Kafka brokers. Okay, so a producer actually writes message to Kafka broker. Okay, so I'll go through some of these like so retention time and then local storage. So we'll actually go through them so at a later point of time. So let me actually get through all the terminologies that we have in Kafka. Okay. So this is like producer writing a message into Kafka server. So now let's see like what consumers are actually like. So a consumer, so it actually consumer is again like another piece of software like which actually connects to the Kafka. Okay. So by connecting to the Kafka, so previously like what I mentioned, so you'll have like a producer and then the producer sends a message to Kafka and Kafka takes care of sending these messages to the consumers, right? Which is not actually right. So just for your understanding sake, I just said that, but behind the scenes that doesn't actually happen. So what happens is each of these consumers, so they actually poll Kafka server to see if there is a new message. Okay. So once if it has a message, like these consumers, they actually consume that particular message. Okay. So it is not a push mechanism. So it is actually a poll mechanism. Okay. So once the Kafka consumer, so it actually polls the Kafka server. So the Kafka server will in turn send a data record if it has, and then it actually, so then the consumer can actually do anything like, so it can actually process, create some reports, dashboards, insights, or it might process the data, whatever it might be. Okay. So what this polling actually does? So do we need to continuously poll the Kafka server, or once in a while, like if we poll, so do you think that will be sufficient?
I think until we receive whatever we want, polling is needed.
Yeah, so it should be a repeating forever. Like, so we cannot I mean, so you can actually poll once in a while and then receive all the messages, but that is not actually Kafka is built for. Like, it is Kafka is actually built for continuous streaming of the data from the producer to the consumer. So what the consumer actually does is like, so it actually polls the Kafka server continuously. Okay, and we should have that particular logic, the polling logic. Okay. So this is what is actually happening, and let's see the Kafka architecture as a whole. Like, so as I mentioned, like, so in my examples, like, so Kafka, so this is the producer and this is the consumer and this is the Kafka cluster, right? So you can actually see, so you can have like multiple producers. So multiple producers in the sense, let's say like we have I9 Waze Verify, and then there are like 10 products which can actually simultaneously write data into this Kafka broker. So it is not something like only warehouse is capable of writing data into the Kafka consumer. So there can be like another producer which can send the data into Kafka cluster. Okay. So there can be like multiple producers. So each producer can write onto multiple Kafka cluster, and then multiple consumers at the same time can read these messages from the Kafka cluster. So we have another component called as like Zookeeper. So the Zookeeper is actually used with Kafka cluster to see, it actually maintains like, so if this broker goes down, so what should be the other broker, like it is actually used for electing the next broker. And also like if a new broker actually joins this cluster, so it actually informs Zookeeper actually coordinates with this particular Kafka cluster. Okay, so it's like a maintenance software. So we are least bothered about Zookeeper. So in this Kafka, like we are only mainly concerned about this producer, consumers, and then Kafka cluster and the configuration of this Kafka cluster. Okay, so Zookeeper, we are not worried about it as of now. So yeah, so this is again like another detail. So are we clear about this, all the stuff like which we discussed till now?
So does Zookeeper doesn't affect this Kafka architecture? I mean, if it's done, will there be any problems with the flow of messages and something?
So if it is turned off,
Yeah.
so as of now, like Zookeeper is actually required, like mandatory for Kafka. But in the upcoming versions, like there is a plan to remove Zookeeper dependency. Okay. So right now, like you should have Zookeeper. So first you should start Zookeeper, then only like you should start like Kafka server.
Okay.
So initially, like you'll run Zookeeper, and then you'll start like Kafka server. Like Kafka then registers all the broker information and all that information with Zookeeper. Okay, so as of now, like Zookeeper is mandatory, but in upcoming versions, like they'll be removing this Kafka Zookeeper dependency on Kafka.
Pawan, I have a question. So,
Yeah.
but you may be covering it later, but out of enthusiasm, I'm asking it. So, we are producing messages to broker, right? Kafka cluster. So,
Yeah.
so does the Kafka cluster uses any database local as local storage? So,
Yeah.
if yes, which type of database they're using, relational or NoSQL database?
Yeah. So actually Kafka cluster, like, so as I'm mentioning here, like the producer actually produces messages onto Kafka cluster and then consumers read them, right? So we are not actually directly communicating between the producer and consumer. So Kafka is acting as an intermediate thing. So yeah, Kafka will have its own database kind of thing. So we cannot actually say whether it is like a relational database or a NoSQL database because it is not actually using any databases which we think of like. So it actually maintains like its own local storage. Okay, so on the server, like it starts writing data onto log files. Okay.
Okay.
So it maintains its own data stores, and we actually write data onto this. So Kafka actually writes data onto the text file. I'll also show you where exactly it writes and what is. Okay. Okay, so it is all clear, right? So this particular architecture.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's go deep into other things like okay. So this is clear.
Pawan, I have a question like, are we going to maintain all the Kafka instances in a single machine or kind of thing?
Usually like in distributed computing, an instance is nothing but like one separate server altogether. So here, like I just mentioned, like 3 Kafka instances, right? So an instance can be, you can actually think of it like 3 different EC2 instances or 3
Yeah.
different machines, Ubuntu
Yeah,
machines.
okay. Oh, that's what my doubt is like.
Yeah, so altogether they
Yeah.
form this cluster.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are actually clear about, so the producers are nothing but like you can have like n number of producers, and a producer can actually reside on one machine itself. Like a producer is nothing but like it's a program. It's not a, it has nothing to do with like Kafka. Like if anything like which writes messages to Kafka, so it is called as a producer. Like anything which consumes messages from Kafka, so it is a consumer.
Yeah. It can be like an API also. Like in a
Yeah.
single controller, multiple APIs may write to Kafka, right?
Yeah, so an API like a RESTful service can also write to the Kafka
Yeah.
broker, and then you can have like a Windows service. You can have Python code or PHP code consuming data from Kafka.
Yeah.
So now let's go deep into this. Okay. So we saw like what a Kafka cluster is, and then what Kafka instance is, right? Now let's see one other thing. Yeah. So let's take an example of one producer. So let's take an example of this is my producer. Okay. Uh, and this is my Kafka server. This is like just take an example of one Kafka instance. Okay. So we have something called as like topics. So there is another thing which is called as topics. A topic is nothing but like it's like a logical separation of data. You can actually think of it as. So let's take, there are, you can have like multiple topics. You can create like multiple topics on a single Kafka server. Okay. So these are all topics. So previously we saw multiple Kafka servers. Now we are actually going deep into one particular server and what exactly is present in one server. Okay. So this can be like topic 1. This is like topic 2. This is like topic 3. Okay. So what a topic is actually is nothing but like, so let's say, so you cannot actually have an entire Kafka instance for one sending only single kind of messages, right? So let's say like I have only one particular Kafka server and there is no concept of topic. So there can be always, we are supposed to send the same kind of message onto this particular broker. Right? So a topic is nothing but like a logical separation, which is actually with logical separation. So there is no physical kind of thing like physical software like a topic running, but it is nothing but like a logical separation. It can be treated like a table or something like that, but we can have like multiple topics created on a Kafka server. Okay. So what this producer actually does is, so I can actually produce messages to this particular topic continuously. Okay. So I'll just produce messages continuously onto this topic. And the same producer, it can also send messages onto this topic. Okay. But let's take this message is nothing but like, so this is of the format like, okay. So it sends like, so sign up information. Okay. So this is actually, this topic is actually intended for like maybe verifier signups. Okay. Kind of. So when we write data onto this particular topic, so you can write any kind of mechanism messages, but I'll also specify like a consumer. Okay. So a consumer can actually listen to one particular topic. Okay. So let's take an example of 2 consumers. So this consumer is nothing but like, let's take like it's been sign up consumer. Okay. And this is something like verifier sign up consumer. Okay. So it is nothing but like verifier sign up consumer. So this admin sign up consumer is actually interested only in this particular topic. Okay. So what it does is like, so this consumer actually tries to read from this particular topic. Okay. So whereas like this verifier sign up consumer, it tries to read messages from this verifier sign up topic. Okay. So am I making clear like what a topic is actually?
Yeah.
So it's like a channel. So for example, if we have like a single channel, like so let's say like if we have only single channel called as like sales software. Okay. So then it will be difficult, right? So everyone will be posting into the same channel, and then so everyone will be consuming from the same channel. Like you'll, so if there are like 100 people, like they communicating, so all the 100 people will be listening into single channel. So which is obviously like difficult thing, right? So instead, like we have one channel for sales software like general, and then one we have for high tech, one we have for sales developers. So intended parties, like, so I actually post it on sales developers. So maybe like Kiran has his own channel, like Kiran's updates, and high tech has its own channel, like people working on high tech, like they post it to this particular group. And we actually receive messages from this particular topic itself, right? So this actually makes clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or any questions like with the topic? So what a topic? So topic is nothing but like kind of a channel. Okay. So high-tech team, so they'll be subscribing to this particular topic, like Waze Verify team, so they'll be subscribing to this topic. MMS channel, they might be subscribing to this particular channel, this particular topic. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is all clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So there is another concept called as like partitions. So we'll actually go through these partitions. So at a later, so in short time, like so. Okay, so that like we'll get more idea. So when we are actually writing a message onto this particular topic, okay. So let's take this real-time example of our team channels. Okay. So continuously, like I'm sending messages into the sales developer sessions group. Okay. So what is actually happening? So it is continuously writing data in the form of like sequentially, it is actually writing the data. First message, second message, third message, fourth message, fifth message, right? Okay. So let's assume like Raju is one consumer, Tarun is one consumer, and Nirza is one consumer. Okay. So Nirza, she is actually following me from the first message itself. Okay. So in that case, like so from she already read like all these messages, like first messages, first three messages. Okay. So today after logging in, so she'll be getting only messages from today, right? She'll be able to read messages only from today. These will be highlighted. So whereas like Raju, so he's not actually following this group, and today like for the first time like he logged in, so he's newly added to this group. So what happens like, so for Raju, like he is supposed to be able to read all these messages from the starting, right? So this makes clear, right? I mean, so my intention, like, so what needs to happen, like, or any confusion over here?
No.
No.
So just to reiterate, I want to, I mean, just to confirm it, I mean, so that if the consumer doesn't consume, I mean, is not able to consume the previous ones and the messages are available, it will start to consume them.
Yeah, so exactly. So it is
Okay.
something like this. Okay, so the producer. So now we saw like Kafka Broker internals, like topics, right? Now let's dig deep into the topic, like and how the message data is actually stored inside a topic kind of thing.
Anna, how much time the data will be available for a consumer?
So you have a retention period, Raju. So I'll actually go through that. So you can have it for 7 days, 9 days, 3 days, 1 day, 1 hour, anytime. Like so, it's all depends on the retention period.
Why I got this, like if we add a new member in WhatsApp, so he can be able to see the messages from where he added.
Further, yeah. So let's take this example. Okay, so so Kafka actually tries to append messages from the back. Okay, so the producer, whenever it sends a message, okay, so this is a topic. So this is topic one. Okay, so Kafka, what it does is like, so it tries to append messages continuously. Okay, so this will be like 1, 2. So it will be something like this. So tries to append a message at the end. Okay, so it can be something like 0, 1, 2, 3. So you're seeing these numbers, right? These are nothing but like, these are called as offsets. Okay. So these blocks, so they're called as offsets. Hope this is clear. Okay. So Kafka, it actually whenever it produces a message like to a server, like what it does is like Kafka, it actually, so we don't actually produce a message to server, like we produce a message to one particular logical separation called as topic. Okay. So I'm writing all the messages to sales developer sessions. Okay. So this is like first message, second message, third message, fourth message kind of thing, right? So you'll have all these messages available on a disk. Like Kafka actually writes all these messages onto a disk. Now let's say like we have consumers, like 3 different consumers.
Pawan, these are offsets or partitions?
So these are offsets.
Okay. So
Okay,
topic
so
will have partitions, right?
yeah, so this has only one partition. If we don't specify anything, like I'll get back to that, but let's
Okay.
assume that so we have, if we don't specify number of partitions, so it will be like one partition. So now we have like a topic, and then the topic has offsets. Okay. So this is first message, second message, third message, and fourth message. So now I have like multiple consumers. So one consumer, two consumer, second consumer, and then third consumer. So this is Raju, Neeraja, and then okay. So these are my consumers. Like so, they are actually present in this particular channel. I mean, so they are actually consumers of this particular channel, like of topic. Okay. So what Raju does is like so Raju actually. So each of these people, like they'll be reading messages from this topic. Like, okay, so Raju will read from this topic, Nirza will read from this topic, and then Tarun might read from this topic. Okay. So if you see, so right now, like so Raju is actually newly joined candidate, so he's actually reading from message 0. Okay. So whereas Nirza, so is she already read first day messages, and now she is actually trying to read second day messages. So Tarun, so he's actually following me from last 3 days. So he actually read all these messages. So current right now, like his offset will be like 3. Okay. So am I making clear, or any questions over here? Like,
No, clear.
so it's clear, right? So near side is clear, right? For you?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is, so we'll have this data, this complete data present. So it is nothing, it is not something like, so in HTTP services, what happens? So you'll send messages to Raju, you'll send messages to Nirza, so you'll send messages to Tarun. Let's say like I have, I need to process these 100 records. So I cannot actually process the old records, right? For Raju and Nirza, only Tarun can get the latest messages, and as he already processed like old messages. Right. So only Tarun will have the complete data. Whereas like Raju, so with HTTP, it is not possible for Raju to and Nirza to have old messages. Right. Because it's point. Like so it sends a message and then the data is not actually stored anywhere. But in Kafka, the data is actually stored. This is first message, second message, third message, fourth message. All these messages are actually stored on Kafka server. Okay. So anytime, like if a new consumer joins, so he can read from the starting, or he can actually proceed from his previous position, previous offset. Okay. So now we have a new developer. Okay. So let's say like we have someone called as like Pawan. I'm actually least bothered about like all those old messages, but I wanted to follow this particular topic from latest messages. Okay. So what I can actually do is, so I can actually directly point to this particular offset. Okay. And read any further messages from this offset. Okay. So it is not mandatory that I should actually go from the first message and read all the messages. So if I join as a new member, and then I can actually read from the latest message itself.
Okay.
Okay. So Raju, it is clear, right?
Can you repeat it once again?
Okay. So you understood like these 3 scenarios, like Raju, Nirza, and Tarun scenarios, right?
Yeah,
so,
I understood.
Yeah. So now let's say like I joined into the team. Okay. So I joined into the team and I wanted to read from this particular topic from this channel. Okay. But I'm not interested in reading all the messages in the past.
Okay.
So I want to continue from the latest message.
Okay.
So in that case, like I can actually read from the latest message. but you are not something like that. So even you and me, we both joined at the same time. Okay. So you are more interested in old messages. Okay. So you are reading from starting earliest message.
Yeah.
So whereas like I'm interested from the latest message. నాకు కొంచెం బద్ధకం కనుక సో నేను ఓన్లీ లేటెస్ట్ మెసేజ్ నుంచి చూద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నాను అనమాట. అప్పుడు ఏంటంటే సో ఐ కెన్ యాక్చువల్లీ కన్ఫిగర్ read it from the latest message itself, like whereas like you can process all these messages from earliest one.
Yeah.
Okay.
అంటే కన్జ్యూమర్ కి ఆప్షన్ ఉంటదన్న అంటే ఎక్కడి
Yeah,
నుంచి
so consumer will have the option to read from which message like it wants to read.
ఓకే
Okay.
ఓకే
So this is actually clear, right? So others like any questions? So any questions like Mirza, Tarun or Rajuli?
No, sir.
Or this is
నో
all?
అన్న
So we saw what a Kafka cluster is. So then we went deep into like the Kafka broker, which is nothing but like one instance in a Kafka cluster. And later like we dig deep into another subcomponent called as topic. Okay, so topic is nothing but like a logical separation. So kind of a channel. So can we relate this stuff to with our channels kind of thing? Okay. So this is like a topic. Okay. So Kafka sessions is nothing but a topic. Okay. So in topics, like you're all subscribers. So these are all messages. Like, so if someone wants to read a message from the starting, so they can actually read it from the starting. If someone wants to read a message from the latest, like they can simply read it from the latest message. Got it, right?
Yes, sir.
ఎస్ అన్న
Okay. Now let's actually go through some code. Okay. So before that, I should actually start my cluster. So this is actually like a Windows instance, like you can actually download it from Kafka and then follow some of these steps. So I follow my blog. Yeah, so you can actually download it from this particular URL, like kafka.apache.org.downloads. Okay, so once you download, like you have the option to download the zip file. So once you download it, like you'll be getting this Kafka. You can unzip and then you'll be seeing all this information like bin. So I wanted to go into like Windows distribution, like so you'll have like multiple classes, but we are mainly interested in few items. What do I try to do is so I'll open like few terminals and then I'll start like Kafka server and then Zookeeper server. Okay. So we'll have these comments like so. So we are in Windows folder. So I'm just starting like Zookeeper. So this is a command to start like Zookeeper server, like Zookeeper server start BAT5. So you can actually see what the content is actually present out there. So it is actually making a call to another BAT file and then sending this configuration files and all this stuff. And also we are passing another property over here, right? So you can see another property. So I'm just specifying like which properties file it should actually pick from. So config zookeeper.properties. So let's see like what kind of properties we have over there. Okay. So this is zookeeper.properties. So here like you can actually specify like the data directory where exactly the data is supposed to be written, and then client port. So port on which like Zookeeper is exposed. So if you want to expose it on a different port, like you can change it over here. Okay. So this is just Zookeeper properties. So initially like we should start Zookeeper. So we got an error. Okay, so I think like previously I was actually working on Ubuntu machine, so this directory structure, so this is actually a bit different. Like so it requires like dot and slashes. So but the command is almost same. Like I'm just starting Zookeeper server. Okay, so Zookeeper server it is started. So let me try to start like Kafka server. Like we have Kafka. So you can actually browse through this Windows. Kafka server start, right? You have this. So we're supposed to call this Kafka server start and then pass the configuration. So let's see like which configuration file we need to use. So we have like server.properties, like this is the one which needs to be sent. Like so we are starting a Kafka server, right? So I got an error. So usually like on Windows, so Kafka is not actually built for Windows. Like if you see all those deployments, so they're actually made for. So usually like we deploy Kafka on Ubuntu. So there are some known issues for Kafka on Windows machine. So unfortunately, like I'm using Windows. So let me actually stop this Zookeeper and then Kafka. So ideally, like if I get any other, so I'll be deleting these logs. Again, let's start Zookeeper. Okay, so now the Kafka and then Zookeeper they're actually running, right? Now let me go through the code. So I have like two console applications. So one is like consumer and the other one is like producer. Okay. So in the producer, I'm just trying to produce a simple message into this topic. Like you can actually, so basically like we cannot, so Kafka, there are certain clients like for Kafka, like so because like so the producer and consumer, like behind the scenes there is a lot happening, right? So regular C# like we cannot actually write this code, like unlike like by making use of HTTP client or something like that. So basically like we need to download a package. So I use a package called as like Confluent. So Confluent is the one like which maintains like Kafka. So install packages. So this is the package like which I make use of, like confluent.kafka. And Confluent is the company like which actually contributes a major portion of their into the Kafka. Okay, so they work mainly with Kafka. So they actually commit a lot of code onto the open source Kafka systems. So this is a package like which I use, like confluent.kafka. Okay. So initially like what I'm trying to do is like, so I'm just specifying like the producer configuration. Okay. So which server it is supposed to talk to. So initial list of brokers has a CSV list or hotspot. So I have like only single server, right? So I have like the local host and then the 9092. So Kafka actually runs on the port 9092, whereas like Zookeeper, it runs on the port like 2181, the one we saw before. Okay, so we can also override some of these options like server related options. Okay, so this is the broker ID. So in case like if we want to have like a cluster of cluster, so what we need to do is like, so each cluster should have like different broker IDs, okay, which joins the Kafka cluster. And also you have an option to change this listener port. So right now it is like 9092. So you can actually change, and then number of threads. So these are some of those internal configurations. So previously, if you remember, like I deleted data from the temp folder, right? So this is where it is configured, like all the logs, they're actually written into the temp folder, and this is where we configure. So if we want to overwrite, we can overwrite over here. So the number of partitions, the default number of partitions. So by default, like when we create a topic, it creates only one partition. And also Raju was asking like for how much time we'll have the logs retained, the data retained, right? So again, this is again a configuration. So the log retention hours is like 168 hours. So which is nothing but 168 divided by 24. It is nothing but like 7 days. Okay. So if we go with the default configuration, so all the messages, they'll be retained for 7 days. Okay. So something like, so this message was written 7 days back and this message was written 6 days back. So this is 5 days back, 4 days back. So after completing 7 days, like this message will be deleted, not entire content. Okay. So this is again clear, right?
Yes, sir.
So
I have a
yeah,
doubt.
yeah.
So what if in the middle of, I mean, after some time the Kafka cluster was down, and will it affect the messages that were retained?
So when you say like Kafka cluster, how many? So I'll have like few questions for you. Like, how many
Okay.
brokers do you have in the cluster?
Maybe two.
You have only two, right? So and what's the replication count?
And one.
One, right? So all the messages which you write to first server, so they'll be replicated onto second server.
Yes.
Okay. So they'll be replicated onto the second server. So when you say the cluster goes down, so do you mean to say both these machines they went down?
Yes.
Okay. So if what kind of failure it is like? So is it like a hardware failure or so SSD? I mean hard disk failure, or is it just like the machine shut down?
Just like the machine shutdown or some internal config error or something like that.
Okay. So if it is like a hardware error and if we cannot actually recover the data, so then we lose all the data from the Kafka cluster. Okay. So if it is just like a machine shutdown, so whenever like you restart the service, so you'll be able to, as the messages are already stored on the log file, so you'll be able to consume all those messages. So there will be no data loss.
Okay.
Okay. So if the failure is because of some hardware failure, something like the SSD, the hard disk, it actually failed. So then we cannot actually recover these messages. So and I think like you understand, like so it is highly impossible for both these machines to have the hardware failure at the same time.
Yes.
So that is why like the replication count is actually helping us. That is where like the replication count actually helps us. So again, you can see the Zookeeper configuration. So as we saw, like Zookeeper is running on the port 2181. So this is Kafka properties, and you can see like Kafka is actually connecting to Zookeeper on this particular port. Okay. So we have another thing called as like delete topic enabled. Yeah, so we can actually delete a topic. So rebalance kind of thing. Okay, so we'll actually go through some of these concepts, like these are all like advanced properties, and we'll go through them at a later point of time. But you got an idea, right? So how the Kafka server and then Zookeeper they communicate. Okay. So now in the producer config, like I'm just writing data onto this particular server like Kafka server. Okay. So after that, like what I'm actually doing, so I'm actually building a producer. So this is all like producer by sending the configuration information, and this actually changes from client to client. So in this client, so we have like a producer config defined separately. Maybe like I can simply specify the config over here itself. So I can simply specify the config something like this instead of having like producer config or something like that. Okay. And then this is where like things come into picture. Like so, this is my producer, and I'm trying to call this method like produce async. So this produce async, like if we see, so it accepts topic. So this is the first thing, to which topic I need to write. Okay. And then what is the message actually? Okay. So you can actually see, so I'm writing to this particular topic like resume processor, and this is my message I'm writing to. So I'm just passing like datetime.now. So let me actually produce this message. Also I'll see, I'll try to install like Kafka client. So initially, like I used to use Kafka Conductor, but it is like a paid version. So I just moved to this open source one. So I'll just download this. So this is just like a GUI tool. So Kafka Confluent, they don't actually provide like any GUI tools, just like Kibana for Elasticsearch or SQL Management Studio, MySQL Workbench kind of thing. So for Kafka, like you'll not have any GUI tool that is actually offered by Confluent. Okay. So there are like some third-party players which actually has some nice tools. So I'll just download this. So meanwhile, like before it gets downloaded, like, so do you have any questions till now?
No, sir.
So it's all clear, right? So how Kafka actually works and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So this is the tool, the Kafka GUI tool. So I'll just open this. So it is actually asking me for few configurations, like so which version of Kafka and then Zookeeper host I can actually ping them. So it is actually up and running. Okay, so any security related stuff, all this stuff, advanced. So connection was actually successful. Like I can see, so this is my Kafka cluster, and this cluster has only one item. Kafka, only one broker, right? And it has like only one broker. This is my broker. Like if I have like multiple brokers, so maybe in next sessions, like we can see multiple brokers concept. Like, okay, so but still now for now we'll go with like single broker. So these are topics and these are consumers. Okay, I didn't actually produce any message, right? So let's do one thing. So I'll have a while for loop. So I'm just trying to post all these messages. Okay. Okay. So I'm just in a loop, like I'm sending like 10 messages. Maybe let's do 50 messages. Okay. So let me run this piece of code. So this is actually clear, right? The basic producer configuration. So we are actually specifying the Bootstrap server, and then we are trying to specify to which topic we need to send the data. Or any questions? Okay. So I'm just trying to send like 50 messages in a loop. So this is my topic name and this is my message. Like I'm just appending I and then current date time. Okay. So here, like you can see some information. So the message is actually sent, right? So you can see some information like this is all related to Kafka headers. Key is nothing but like, so this message has key value pairs if we want like, okay. So I didn't actually send any key. So it is just null key. And then offset you can see. So this is first message, right? So offset will be 0. Okay. So partition. So we have only one partition by default. So partitions we can actually see in a later topic. So but we have one partition, so it is 0. So it starts with 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So in what is the topic name? So I'm just trying to send this message to resume processor. So topic partition. So resume processor and partition 0. Topic partition offset. So it's a combination of all these things like, so resume topic, resume processor topic, and then the partition is 0th partition, which is nothing but like first partition, and then 0th offset. And this is the actual message value. So I did send this message, right? So we can actually see, now we can actually see, I'll just refresh this and you can see my topic is actually created. Okay. So you can actually see messages like string kind of thing. So this is a GUI tool which actually helps us out. Okay. So total number of messages. So right now, like I sent only one message, right? So you'll be able to see only one message. So it has. So if you want to see the data, you can play. Okay. So let me actually delete this breakpoint. Okay. And then I'll just start this. No. I'm not able to minimize it. So you can actually see this like, so you can actually see like all these messages, so they're actually delivered, right? So I'm just pointing some information like topic partition offsets. So you can see like the first message 0, 1, 2, 3. I sent like 50 messages and these are 50 messages. And to which topic? So it is sent to resume processor partition 0 and 50th offset. Okay. So I can actually play all these messages and see over here like in this topic. So you're able to see this, right? So which partition, like it is 0th partition, offset, like which offset. So offset is nothing but like it is an incremental value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it goes on. Okay, so this is my message actually. So this is encrypted. So you can actually see all these messages that are actually sent and at what timestamp like these messages are sent. Okay. So these are the topics. So now, like let's say I want a consumer. Okay. So this is again like the consumer code. So for the consumer, like you'll just specify the group ID. So it's nothing but like kind of the consumer name. So we'll just, so there is more related to the consumer. So let's keep this group ID apart for now. And then, so again, like which Kafka server it is supposed to connect to. And I'm actually mentioning, right? So whether I should read the messages from starting or latest, right? So that is actually configured over here, like auto offset reset. By default, it is actually set to, so the default value is nothing but like Smallest, earliest, like automatically resets now. Yeah, so you have these options. So earliest, latest, and then late error. So when you say latest, okay, so I'll not be able to read any messages from this. So I'm just stopping the producer. Okay. So now let's
ఇందాక మీరు ఒక డిఎల్ఎల్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసి సేమ్ డిఎల్ఎల్ యూజ్ అవుతుందన్న దీనికి కూడా
సేమ్ ప్యాకేజ్ యూజ్ చేసుకోవాలి. సో కాంప్లియంట్ ప్యాకేజ్. I'll set this as startup project. Now let me run this consumer. So I'm just specifying this one. So again, like I'm just building the consumer by passing the configuration. So here you can actually see, so I'm actually subscribing to one particular topic. So you cannot actually subscribe to more than one topic. Okay, so one consumer can subscribe to one topic. So which topic I'm subscribing to? I'm subscribing to resume processor topic. Okay, so once it is subscribed, like so I'm just trying to consume this particular message. Okay, and you can see it actually stopped. Okay, so it didn't actually go through the next message, and at the same time, like, so it is actually, so what is happening behind the scene is, so I mentioned, right, so consumer will continuously poll to the Kafka server until it receives a new message. Okay, so it is continuously polling for this particular message. Now let me try to execute this piece of code. So I'll have this exe file in the bin, right? So I'll just try to execute this exe. I'm just sending again the same messages, like, so again when I run this particular code, like this exe, so it tries to send the 050, but the date time will actually change. Let me try to run that. So now you immediately you can see, right, so it went to the next line because it is actually trying to read this particular message, like the latest message. Okay, so you can see what is the latest message. So it is actually trying to consume this message 0 from 20. So I might create like one confusion here, but so now it is trying to read all these messages continuously. So after reading like 50 messages, what happens? So again, so I think like I'll just remove this breakpoint. So it will never come out of so after reading 50 messages, so again like it is continuously trying to consume the messages, like it is again like went into the polling mode and it starts polling. Okay, so is this clear, like, or any questions?
Sir, in the previous example you mentioned about how we can view the previous messages. So is this consumer not configured to read the previous messages?
Yeah, so you can see like first time like I have zeroth message, and after 50 messages again like so it has like 1 or 2 messages, right? So you can actually see these messages like 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. Actually showing only So here you can see like first 50 messages, and then second time like I executed this command, right? So I executed the other exe. So again like it posted all these 50 messages. So our consumer, so it is actually consuming only these messages. So it is not actually consuming these old messages, right? So that is because, so we have this configuration auto offset reset set to latest.
Okay.
So in this example, like we discussed about this guy, right? So he's only interested in reading only latest messages. So now I wanted to simulate like Raju. So I'll just do, so we have like only 0. And then you can also see the offset, like, so which offsets it is actually reading from? It is reading from 51 to 100, 101. Okay, so it is not reading from 0. So now if I want to read from the starting, okay. So now let's see like whether it reads all these 50 early messages or not. Okay, so it is not actually reading, right? So even though I just mentioned like earliest, so it is not reading. Did you observe this?
Yes, sir.
So the reason why it is not actually reading is, so this is the beauty of Kafka again. Like, so initially, like for the first time, like when we executed this consumer, so we specified this group ID, right? So this is nothing but like name of the Kafka instance. Okay. So we specified this group ID. So the zookeeper will actually register this particular group name. So whenever like, so it is something like this. So whenever like this group name is again started, so it tries to fetch only the messages from the offset from the last offset. Okay, so we read up to like 51 previously, right? So that's
Yeah.
the reason why like it is actually ignoring this configuration and it tries to read only from the offset 51, and we don't have any messages from offset 51.
101, sir.
Yeah, so yeah, it's 101 exactly. Yeah. So let me try to change this group name. So I just have appended -1 to this group name. Okay. Now let me execute this and see what happens. So where should it actually read from? So is it supposed to read from offset 0, or is it supposed to read from offset 101 or 50?
From 0.
0.
From 0, right? Yeah. So let's execute this and see. So you can actually see. So we went up to 101 and we are reading from offset 0.
Okay.
Okay. Again, if I stop this particular consumer and try to read on this particular consumer, from where does it actually read? From which offset like does it try to read?
101.
Yeah, so it is going to ignore this particular thing. So because this group ID is already registered with Zookeeper, and then the latest offset is actually registered with Zookeeper. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it is actually trying to read from 101, and we don't have any data from 101, right? So it is ignoring. So I'll just show you another thing. Okay. So what I'll try to do is like I'll just create another topic. Okay. I just created another consumer. So what did I do? So I read like from topic 0 because I have earliest offset 0. So I'm just reading. So up to which partition did I read? So I read up to like 3, right? So now I'll stop this particular Kafka. Okay. So now if I try to restart, so from which topic do you think like it will start reading? From which offset like it will actually start reading? Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
So from now,
Sir, can you repeat the
yeah.
previous?
So I just executed this test consumer group 2, and I read only 3 offsets, messages from 3 offsets.
Okay.
After that, like I just stopped it.
Okay.
Okay. So after that, like I stopped this particular message, right? So now from which offset do you think like this particular consumer will start reading?
From 4.
Yeah. So Raju, your option is 4. How about like others?
From
0.
4.
0. Tarun, you're saying 0?
Yeah.
Okay. Nirza, your option?
From 4.
From 4.
Yeah.
Okay. So Raju and Tarun Raju and Nirza are saying like it reads from 4. So whereas like Tarun is saying it actually reads from 0, right? Let's see who is actually correct. Okay. So which offset is it is actually reading from? So it is actually reading from 4. So why is it reading from 4? Like, so Nirza,
It's already registered in Zookeeper.
yeah. So previously it read all these 3 offsets like 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So now when we start this particular when we restart this consumer, so as we have like some information present with Zookeeper, so it is actually trying to read from that particular offset instead of going from the starting.
But we have configured it as earliest, right? So why is it not considering that offset?
Yeah, so this one comes into picture only when you don't have any information registered with Zookeeper. Okay, so once you run this consumer, so this is only for the first time. So if it is like a new consumer and if it is trying to read for the first time, so this comes into picture like auto or offset reset.
అంటే అది జూకీపర్ వాల్యూ నుంచి ఓవర్ రైడ్ అయిపోద్దన్నా?
యా, అంటే ఓవర్ రైడ్ అవుతుందో లేదో అన్నది అంటే ఇది సెకండ్ టైం నుంచి ఇగ్నోర్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట. సెకండ్ టైం ఆఫ్సెట్ అంటే ఫస్ట్ టైం నువ్వు రన్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏంటి, నీ దగ్గర ఇనిషియల్ గా జూకీపర్ తో రిజిస్టర్ అయింది ఏం లేదు ఆఫ్సెట్. సో అంటే అప్పుడు ఈ కన్ఫిగరేషన్ తీసుకుంటది, తీసుకుని ఓకే సో ఎర్లియస్ట్ సో ఐ షుడ్ రీడ్ ఫ్రమ్ 0 స్టార్టింగ్ ఆఫ్సెట్. సో ఇఫ్ ఇట్
అప్పుడు లేటెస్ట్ పెట్టినా సేమ్ గానే అవుతుంది కదన్నా, ఫస్ట్ నుంచి అవుతుంది.
సెట్ టు లేటెస్ట్, సో ఇట్ ట్రైస్ టు పిక్ ఫ్రమ్ ద లేటెస్ట్ ఆఫ్సెట్. సో Zookeeper will again have like the latest offset details, right? So of that particular topic.
సో కంపారిజన్ జరుగుతుందా సార్ ఈ ఆఫ్సెట్ కి జూకీపర్ దగ్గర ఉన్న దానికి?
యా, ఎగ్జాక్ట్. సో అంటే ఈ ఆఫ్సెట్ ఈ వాల్యూని ఓన్లీ మన దగ్గర జూకీపర్ లో డేటా లేనప్పుడు సో దీన్ని కన్సిడర్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట, ఎర్లియస్ట్ లేటెస్ట్ అన్నది. సో ఎర్లియస్ట్ అయితే ఫస్ట్ నుంచి రీడ్ చేస్తుంది, లేటెస్ట్ అయితే ఆ పర్టికులర్ ఇది స్టార్ట్ అయినప్పుడు ఏ టాపిక్ ఏ ఆఫ్సెట్ అయితే ఉందో ఆ ఆఫ్సెట్ నుంచి రీడ్ చేయడానికి ట్రై చేస్తుంది అనమాట.
కాదు, ఇప్పుడు ఎర్లియస్ట్ కాకుండా లేటెస్ట్ పెట్టినా 4 నుంచి అవుతుంది.
యా, సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లైక్ ఈ 4th రీడ్ చేసాం కదా మనం. సో ఇప్పుడు నేను లేటెస్ట్ పెడతాను.
ఓకే,
సో ఇప్పుడు లేటెస్ట్ పెడితే నాకు ఎక్కడి నుంచి రావాలి, 5th నుంచి రావాలి కదా.
అవును.
సో ఇది చూస్తే ఆఫ్సెట్ అంతా 5th నుంచి వస్తుంది. సో ఓన్లీ ఫస్ట్ టైం అంటే జూకీపర్ దగ్గర ఈ పర్టికులర్ కన్స్యూమర్ రిలేటెడ్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఏది లేకపోయినప్పుడు అప్పుడు ఈ ఆఫ్సెట్ ని కన్సిడర్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట, ఈ ఆప్షన్ ని తీసుకుంటది. సో వన్స్ లైక్ జూకీపర్ హ్యాస్ ఎనీ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ రిలేటెడ్ టు దిస్ పర్టికులర్ గ్రూప్ కన్స్యూమర్, so then it starts picking from that particular offset, like offset which is registered with Zookeeper. So this is clear, right?
Yeah.
So
ఇప్పుడు గ్రూప్ ఐడి 3 పెట్టి రన్ చేస్తే ఎక్కడి నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది?
సో ఇప్పుడు గ్రూప్ ఐడి 3 పెట్టి రన్ చేస్తే నాకు ఏంటంటే లేటెస్ట్ కదా, సేమ్ ఆప్షన్ లేటెస్టే కదా.
లేటెస్ట్.
సో లేటెస్ట్ కనుక నాకు ఏంటంటే డేటా రాదు, సో ఇట్ స్టార్ట్స్ రీడింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ఆఫ్సెట్ 101. సో ఇక్కడికి వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఆగిపోద్ది, నెక్స్ట్ లైన్కి వెళ్దు, అక్కడ అలా కంటిన్యూ
మళ్ళీ కొత్త డేటా పోల్
యా మళ్ళీ కొత్త డేటా వచ్చే వరకు అది అలా కంటిన్యూస్ గా పోల్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు. క్లియర్ అవుతారు?
ఓకే, అంటే ఇప్పుడు అది టాపిక్ బేస్ మీద అవుతుంది కానీ గ్రూప్ బేస్ మీద అవుతుంది.
టాపిక్ బేస్ మీద కాదు. సో ఎప్పుడు కన్స్యూమర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఎప్పుడు కన్స్యూమర్ గ్రూప్ ఐడి మీదే ఉంటది అనమాట.
ఇది న్యూ కన్స్యూమర్ కదా ఇప్పుడు మనం రన్ చేస్తాం.
సో న్యూ కన్స్యూమర్ కనుక నీకు ఏంటి, సో నీకు న్యూ కన్స్యూమర్ కదా, సో ఫస్ట్ జూకీపర్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్తుంది. ఓకే ఈ కన్స్యూమర్ జూకీపర్ లో ఉందా లేదా, ఓకే సో జూకీపర్లో ఇంకా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ లేదు. సో అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తుంది నెక్స్ట్? సో ఎనీ ఆటో ఆఫ్సెట్ రీసెట్ ఆప్షన్ స్పెసిఫై చేశారా? ఓకే, లేటెస్ట్ అని స్పెసిఫై చేశారు. అప్పుడు ఏంటి, కాఫ్కా దగ్గరికి వెళ్తుంది, వెళ్ళి ఆ టాపిక్లో లేటెస్ట్ ఆఫ్సెట్ ఏంటి 101. ఓకే, సో 101 నుంచి రిజిస్టర్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట. సో జూకీపర్లో ఓకే ఈ కన్స్యూమర్ 101 నుంచి రీడ్ చేయాలి, 101 దగ్గర ఉంది అని చెప్పేసి పాయింట్ చేస్తుంది.
ఓకే, టాపిక్ యొక్క ఆఫ్సెట్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి రీడ్ చేస్తుంది.
యా, సో లేటెస్ట్ అని పెడితే నువ్వు
ఓకే, ఎర్లియస్ట్ అని పెడితే,
సో ఎర్లియస్ట్ అని పెడితే అప్పుడు కూడా మళ్ళీ టాపిక్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్తుంది. టాపిక్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి ఎర్లియస్ట్ ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్సెట్ వాల్యూ ఏదైతే ఉందో అది చూస్తుంది, అది తీసుకుని అక్కడ నుంచి దాన్ని రిజిస్టర్ చేసి అక్కడ నుంచి రీడ్ చేయడం మొదలు పెడుతుంది అనమాట. సో నెక్స్ట్ టైం చెప్తాను.
సో టాపిక్ దగ్గర ఇప్పుడు ఆఫ్సెట్ 101 ఉంది కదా, సో ఎర్లియస్ట్ అని పెడితే 0 నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. మళ్ళీ
ఎర్లియస్ట్ అని పెడితే 0 నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది నీకు.
ఓకే, సో ఆఫ్సెట్ రీసెట్ అనేది
అది కూడా ఓన్లీ ఫస్ట్ టైం మాత్రమే.
ఓకే,
యా, సో నెక్స్ట్ టైం నుంచి, సో నువ్వు ఎర్లియస్ట్ అని పెట్టా, ఫస్ట్ టైం ఇది రన్ చేస్తున్నావు అనుకో, నువ్వేంటి 0 నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అయింది, నువ్వు ఓన్లీ 5 మెసేజెస్ రీడ్ చేసిన తర్వాత నీది ఆగిపోయింది ఇది కన్స్యూమర్. అప్పుడు మళ్ళీ నువ్వు రీస్టార్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏంటి అంటే 3 మెసేజెస్ రీడ్ చేసావు కనుక 4th మెసేజ్ నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. అప్పుడు ఇది కన్సిడర్ చేయదు. దాంట్లో రిజిస్టర్ అయింది ఏంటి, జూకీపర్తో ఓన్లీ ఈ పర్టికులర్ కన్స్యూమర్ 3 మెసేజెస్ రీడ్ చేసిందని రిజిస్టర్ చేసుకుంటుంది కదా, అది.
ఓకే
ఓకే, సో క్లియర్ కదా ఇది? ఆర్ ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్స్? So any questions on that, or is it clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay, so this is how like, so Kafka advantage ఏదైనా కనిపించిందా రెగ్యులర్ HTTP సర్వీసెస్ తో కంపేర్ చేస్తే?
కనిపించిందన్న, అంటే
మీరు ఆల్రెడీ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసింది సార్.
యా, సో ఇప్పుడు ఏంటి అంటే, సో ఇన్ కేస్ లైక్ నా కన్స్యూమర్ లో ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చింది అనుకో, సో ఈ పర్టికులర్ పాత్ డయాగ్రామ్ లో సో మల్టిపుల్ కన్స్యూమర్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా రైట్ సైడ్, అందులో ఏదైనా ఒక కన్స్యూమర్ డౌన్ అయినా సరే ఆ కన్స్యూమర్ లైక్ లేటెస్ట్ నుంచి రీడ్ చేసుకోవాలా, లేదంటే ఆల్రెడీ అది కొన్ని మెసేజెస్ పిక్ చేసుకుని ఉంటే అక్కడి నుంచి పిక్ చేసుకుంటుంది అది. ఓకే, సో ఇది బేసిక్ అనమాట. నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్ లో లైక్ పార్టీషన్స్ అవి చూద్దాం. పార్టీషన్స్ ఏంటి అంటే ఇంకా ఉంటుంది, అది ప్యారలల్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ కి వాటికి యూజ్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. సో ఇప్పటి వరకు అయితే క్లియర్ కదా?
అంటే సార్ ఇప్పుడు నాకు ఇంకో డౌట్ వచ్చింది. జూకీపర్ దగ్గర కన్స్యూమర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఉంటుంది, సో దాన్ని ఓవర్ రైడ్ చేయడం అవుతుందా? అంటే ఇక్కడ మనం ఆటో ఆఫ్సెట్ పెట్టినట్టు
దాన్ని ఓవర్ రైడ్ చేసే ఆప్షన్ లేదు. కాకపోతే నేను ఒకసారి నీకు రీసెర్చ్ చేసి చెప్తాను కాల్స్తే. నాకు తెలిసినందుకు 90% లేదు. లేటెస్ట్ వర్షన్స్ లో ఏమైనా వచ్చి ఉంటే మరి.
ఓకే
ఓకే, సో ఈవెన్ కినెసిస్ కూడా ఆల్మోస్ట్ సేమ్ ఇలాగే వర్క్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. సో కినెసిస్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ లైక్ అమెజాన్ వర్షన్ ఆఫ్ కాఫ్కా. సో అది కూడా సేమ్ ఇలాగే వర్క్ అవుతుంది. దాంట్లో నీకు ఆప్షన్ ఉంటుంది ఏ స్పెసిఫిక్ ఆఫ్సెట్ నుంచి రీడ్ చేయాలి అన్నది. సో ఇందులో ఆఫ్సెట్ యా, సో ఇది క్లియర్ కదా. అండ్ ఎర్లియస్ట్ ఆప్షన్ ఇందాల చెప్పుకున్నాం కదా. సో ఎర్లియస్ట్ ఆప్షన్ ఏంటి అంటే ఇక్కడ ఈ డయాగ్రామ్ లో మనం జస్ట్ చూస్తే, సో ఈ రిటెన్షన్ పీరియడ్ ఎర్లియస్ట్ ఆఫ్సెట్ ఉంది కదా. సో లెట్స్ సే ఒక 7 days ఈచ్, అది రిటెన్షన్ పీరియడ్ 7 days ఉంది. సో మేబీ ఫస్ట్ డే, సెకండ్ డే, 7th డే అలాగా ఇది 10 days బ్యాక్ మెసేజ్ అనుకో. సో ఆబ్వియస్గా ఇది డిలీట్ అయిపోద్ది కదా. అండ్ 10 days తర్వాత నేను వస్తే కన్స్యూమ్ చేయడానికి స్టార్ట్ చేస్తే అప్పుడు ఏదైతే లేటెస్ట్ ఉందో ఆ లేటెస్ట్ ఆఫ్సెట్ నుంచే స్టార్ట్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట. ఎర్లియస్ట్ అని పెడితే ఆప్షన్ 0 నుంచి రీడ్ అవ్వదు, ఎందుకంటే 0 ఆల్రెడీ డిలీట్ అయిపోయింది. Okay.
Okay.
సో అంటే
అప్పుడు
ఇప్పుడు
ఎర్లియస్ట్ అని పెట్టాం అనుకున్నాను. డిలీట్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఎర్లియస్ట్ అంటే అప్పుడు స్టార్టింగ్ ఆఫ్సెట్ ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఉందో అక్కడి నుంచి రీడ్ అవుతుందా?
read చేస్తాం. అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనం ఈ మెసేజెస్ ని తీసుకుందాం. సో ఈ మెసేజెస్ ఇలాగా అలా కంప్లీట్ గా పైలప్ అవుతూ ఉంటాయి కదా. మనం బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ సర్వీస్ ఏదో మేబీ లైక్ మైక్రోసాఫ్ట్ టీమ్స్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ లో ఏంటి అంటే ఈ పాత మెసేజెస్ ని ఆటోమేటిక్ గా డిలీట్ చేసేస్తాం. లైక్ 100 days ఆ మెసేజ్ అయితే దాన్ని ఆర్కైవ్ చేసేస్తాం అనమాట. సో అప్పుడు ఏంటంటే 101th డే నువ్వు జాయిన్ అయినప్పుడు ఏదైతే నీకు ఫస్ట్ కనిపిస్తుందో అదే కదా రీడ్ చేస్తాం. సేమ్ ఇక్కడ కూడా అదే కాన్సెప్ట్ అనమాట. సో okay, so I think so that's from my side. Like any questions, like you can let me know. So ఈ కోడ్ ఈ క్లాస్ ఫైల్స్ షేర్ చేస్తాను. జస్ట్ మీకు ఏమైనా ట్రై చేయాలంటే ట్రై చేయొచ్చు అనమాట. ఓకే
Okay.
ఓకే.
యా థ్యాంక్ యూ Wesley. So any other questions from others? Like I see few other people like I didn't actually notice like Sitaram or Balavargavi.
Actually, I joined in middle, Pawan. I have to see this recording again. Then I think I'll get more doubts.
Okay then, yeah, sure. So you can actually ping me like anytime, like if you have any questions or doubts.
Yes, sure, Pawan.
Yeah, thank you guys. Like thanks for your time.
Thank
Bye
you.
everyone.
Fine.
Thank you.
Nice.